Okay, welcome to part one of our study guide. We're going to go through chapters 1 to 8 first. It starts off with why is Immaculate at first denied a scholarship to a public high school? The number one reason being that she is a Tutsi, and being the number 2 in the class for Immaculate, she is not accepted to university. Neither is the number 1 in the class, who is also a male Tutsi. The excuse being given that they need to keep things even between Hutus and Tutsis. Describe one instance of dangerous prejudice Immaculate encounters before the all-out genocide. I mean, there's a million we can list. She is afraid at school that the Hutus are going to invade and kill all the Tutsi women. There is different times where she encounters Hutus on the street, and they heckle her or just verbally threaten her and physically intimidate her. So there's certainly plenty of that. What event seems to spark the genocide? If you recall, that is the president's plane being shot out of the sky. The president was a Hutu, and though it's blamed on the Tutsis, this Hutu president was looked at as too light on the Tutsis, so there is evidence out there, of course, and this isn't for the test, but just for your historical knowledge, that it was actually Hutus that shot him down for being too moderate. What is the RPF? Those are the Tutsi freedom fighters. They are trying to stop the genocide. However, they are also a very aggressive revolutionary group that is an armed militia, so to speak. Which one of Immaculate's brothers is out of the country when the genocide began? It's very important. That is Amable. Amable is away studying. He is actually not in Rwanda when the genocide begins, and he's actually safe the entire time. Who informs the family that the genocide has begun? Damascene is the one who is well aware of this going on. He is the one who predicts it's going to happen, but unfortunately no one listens to him, and they miss their opportunity to escape. And then eventually the villagers come and let the family know what's going on. Ultimately, how many people are camped out in front of Immaculate's home? The number given in the book is roughly 10,000. 10,000 Tutsis come to Immaculate's mother and father for advice. Why does Immaculate's father send her to the pastor's house? He believes she'll be protected there, that the pastor will keep her safe, and basically the pastor owes Immaculate's father a lot for helping him out in the past, so he also sees that as someone who will protect her as a favor to the family. Who accompanies her to the pastor's home? That's Augustine, the character that gets cut out of the audio version, that pops up a good amount, although it's not necessarily, obviously it's not necessary for our class, but Augustine is there from out of town, and they send him along because they don't want to, the family doesn't want to feel responsible for his death or have to tell his parents if it's their fault that he gets killed. Who snubs Immaculate at the pastor's home? This one could be really two answers. We remember the first person she goes up to is Baharo, who is very rude to her. And as we eventually find out, he's actually a Hutu extremist that participates in a lot of killings. And then also it's her good friend Janet, who she grew up with and thought she was very close to, who basically says to Immaculate, "We won't protect you. We would never protect you, and how dare you even ask." What news does Damascene bring Immaculate at the pastor's house? He brings a lot of bad news. Mainly that their home has been burned down and destroyed, and that the entire family has gone into hiding. He says they've been separated from their mother and father, that they rode off on a motorcycle, and he's going to hide at his friend Bone's house, where hopefully he'll be safe. Bone is a Hutu. Why does Immaculate become angry at the pastor? The pastor will not shelter any men. So that means Augustine and Immaculate's youngest brother, Vianney, are going to be sent out into the wilderness, and this, of course, eventually leads to their death, and she, of course, thinks that they could have protected them there, but he will not hide men. He will only limit the people he can save to the small group of women. What idea does Immaculate come up with to ensure their hiding place goes unnoticed? That is, and this is one's very important, moving the dresser in front of the door. And she credits this as an idea that was put in her head by God. Now keep in mind that Immaculate lets us know that she had never seen the dresser before or knew the layout of the bedroom. So this is one of those things that comes to her, a vision that's put in her head that she doesn't take credit for because she couldn't have possibly come up with it on her own. Describe the ways the women adapt to their hiding place. This is several things. They start a communication process. They also use the bathroom without ever seeing anyone use the bathroom, and they also never flush the toilet unless they hear a toilet flush in the other room, because the kids that live in the house don't even know that they are there. Alright, that's part one.